Hey guys, I just realized I haven't made a video in a long freaking time. And I know I was trying to get one out every week, but I have been extremely busy with marching band. In fact, I had band today from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. My legs are killing me, and it really sucks. Looks like there's something odd on the screen, but that's just my computer being dumb. For this episode of In My Opinion, it's going to basically be a list. I was originally going to do a top 10 of my favorite PS1 games from when I was younger, but I still need to get a list together for that. This one is just going to be my top 5. It's not even top 5. I'm just going to list my favorite game franchises, series, or anything that's kind of in the same realm. In no particular order. I wouldn't call it a top 5, but it will be 5 different franchises. Anything else before I start? I cut my hair. You know, my last videos look like an idiot. I look like an idiot with this hat on, but I like my fedora and it actually fits. So let's get started. Number 5. So, Godzilla. If you watched my very first episode of In My Opinion, you probably know that I am a huge Godzilla fan, have been since I was a little kid, and that also stemmed out to video games as well as movies. The very first Godzilla video game I think I got was Super Godzilla for the Super Nintendo, and I know a lot of people hate that game, but actually I really enjoy it. I still play it every time I go to my grandma's house. Haven't gone over there recently now that I'm thinking about it. After that, I got Godzilla Save the Earth for the PS2. I think before that I got something else, but I'll talk about it in a second. Godzilla Save the Earth was a great game. It was a little different than Super Godzilla, obviously, since it's a lot newer system. And it's basically just a fighting game. It's done very well. The second one on the PS2 I got was Godzilla Unleashed. And I also have the Wii version of that, and they both suck pretty bad. I don't particularly enjoy either game very well. I do say the PS2 had better controls, but it had a really crappy list of monsters you could play as. In total, I think it had about 10? I haven't played it in a while, so I really don't know. The Wii actually has a lot more monsters, ranging from Godzilla in 1954 all the way to Crystal, which was a character created specifically for this game. And that's all I have for the PS2 and the Wii. The other Godzilla game I played a lot when I was younger was Godzilla Domination for the Game Boy Advanced, and I play it now, and it's nothing really that special, but I played it back then, and I loved it. The music in it's really good. It really throws in some cheap blows, though. 1 against 3. That always made me angry. But, yeah. Number 4. Alright, number 4. The WWE video games, or WWF, because I'll be talking about those as well. When I was around 5 or 6... whenever I got my PS1 and my cousin got his PS1, he had WWF Warzone, and that game sucked. Little background before I go any further: the WWE, if you don't know what it is, it's professional wrestling. It is scripted. I really hate it nowadays. Back then, I watched it like 24/7. But I've grown out of it. Now my brother's into it, and he watches it 24/7, and it bugs the crap out of me. I just poked myself in the eye. I still like the games, though. The games are really good. I pre-ordered WWE 13. Need to pay it off since it comes out on Halloween. But I have something else to tell you guys about Halloween. I'll tell you at the end of this video. But as I was saying, PS1, WWF Warzone. Terrible game nowadays. Back then, I'm sure it was okay. The reason I don't like it is because you have to memorize button combinations, and even then you don't have to memorize it. You have to just hit in codes to do moves, and I I really didn't like that. But at the time I did. And then when I got a little bit older, I got a Nintendo 64, one of the best gaming consoles ever, and WWF No Mercy. That's still probably one of my favorite WWF games of all time. Great storylines, great created character mode, great matches you can choose from. It is difficult at times, and that's what I like about it. It can range from really easy to really difficult. You can pick anybody for any storyline on there, so like, I went into the Women's Championship with Kane, just because I was bored, and I did that, and that one overall is really good. I also have Warzone for it, and it's not much better than the PS1 version. Yeah, the PS1 version. And then I have, for the Nintendo 64 I got recently, it was WWF, no, it was WrestleMania 2000, and that's similar to WWF No Mercy, just not as good. The only thing I like about that a little bit more is they actually have the full entrance instead of them just coming down the ramp and then it moves on. Then really recently, like a couple months ago, I got WCW. It was a WCW game, which is another wrestling thing, and it was a lot like WrestleMania 2000. I thought it was fun. Moving on from the Nintendo 64, going into the PS2, I got, what was the very first game I got her at? I don't know the very first. I'll just list it from the oldest game I have onward. SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. That's a really fun game. It's more like arcade-ish style nowadays, because go into New York and throw people off two-story buildings, and it's fun. The next one would be SmackDown versus Raw. That's also very fun. The storyline, I've actually never played all the way through. I need to. I've gotten back into my PS2 recently, so I've done that. Moving on from SmackDown vs. Raw, I recently obtained 06 again. I originally got it for the PSP. When it was first coming out, I was so psyched because I got the PSP, and then I'm like, I need this game. It looks awesome. And, you know, back then, if you were a really big fan of the games, 2006 looked amazing. It really did. I still love to play it. I wish my PSP actually worked. The analog stick doesn't work anymore, so now I can only play a couple of games, which I will get to later. 06 I got for the PS2 and the PSP. The PS2 version actually has announcer tables, which I like. It also has announcers, unlike the PSP version, and it has a lot faster loading time, as you might think. Moving on from that, I obtained 07, SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, on Christmas. It was either Christmas or my birthday. I don't remember which. It's just kind of odd because my birthday's in July. I just can't remember. But I got that, and that was like 06 on crack. Besides the controls you can get used to pretty quickly, but that was a great game. Moving on from that was, I got 08, SVR 08 for the PSP, and I hated it. I hate that game so much. And the control is okay, but for the PSP, it really, really sucked. The characters' hands were always like this, no matter what you do. When you're punching, they're like this. They never move. The storyline was so monotonous because every time you would do something, it would trigger another match, and then another match, and then another match. It sucked. It was like a mix between General Manager mode on the older games and Season mode. General Manager mode's fun, too. I played it again recently. It's a lot better with a friend. Moving on from 08, which I particularly despise, was 09. I got that for the PS2 at first. 09 was really good. It introduced more tag team stuff, and I really liked that, like tag team finishers, hot tags, And I know if you don't watch the WWE, you have no idea what any of this is, so I'm going to put a time in the description so you can go ahead and skip past the WWE portion. '09 I also got for the Wii, which was really different on the Wii because the Wii for '09, the control was different. They actually used the nunchucks and everything to punch and hit and do everything, which was interesting. I got the hang of it pretty quickly, and so did my siblings. They were able to beat me after a while. And they fixed that with 2010, which I really liked. For I only had it for the Wii for 10, and for the Wii it was really good. It kind of followed the PS2, Xbox 360, PS3 games, where it actually had set buttons you would hit to do moves, which made it easy. Hold on, my aunt's calling. I apologize for that, but anyway, 2010 was really good. I really enjoyed it. The storyline was okay. I forgot to mention the storylines of the other ones. They introduced Road to WrestleMania, I think, in '09, which lets you choose different superstars. Instead, in '06, you could choose anybody, and it would do different storylines. But on 2009, 2010, I'm pretty sure in 2011 they did that as well. For 2011, I got for the Wii as well, and it's similar to 2010, but it's a little different. The storyline was terrible. Storyline was terrible. It sucked. Actually, it didn't even suck. It had the Road to WrestleMania again, but the problem was for the Wii and all of the versions, it's kind of going back to like Shut Your Mouth. WWE SmackDown Shut Your Mouth, and you get to walk around backstage and you get to do stuff, but when they're doing the stuff backstage, when they're talking to you, their mouths never stop moving. And even after they stop talking, it's still constantly, and it was annoying. The words never matched their mouths. It was like watching a Godzilla movie, and that bugged me. The storylines on it were okay. The matches on it were okay. I also forgot to mention from each game the Create a Wrestler. It gets better and better every year. Then I got my Xbox 360 and I got WWE 12. I love WWE 12. When I first got it, the first match I did was tables, ladders, and chairs with Randy Orton in the Big Show, and I was Randy Orton. And it was really hard the first time I played it too, because they changed the controls around a little bit. But it's really fun. I really love it now. The storyline was crap, but the Create a Wrestler is still great. Create a Ring is really cool. I wish they would bring back Create a Belt. That's what I like about '06. Sorry about that. WWE 12 is good. I'll probably do it in my opinion of WWE 13 when I get it next week. So, that is my thoughts on the WWE series. Number 3. Number 3. This is going way back into this current my generation's childhood, because Spyro the freaking dragon. I loved these games. I recently found a couple of them lying around in my house, and I've been playing them again. Brings back some memories, man. Spyro the Dragon, if you don't know, nowadays he's with that new Skylanders game. I've never played it. I don't know if it's any good or not. If I had my guess, I'd probably say no, it's not. But if it is, let me know. Spyro originally was a platformer, I think. Platformer game. Roam around, get unlockables, collect gems. The very first game was pretty simple, and they expanded on it with the second and third for the PS1. And I'm mainly talking about the PS1 games here. After the PS1 trilogy, I didn't really play much else of them. I think I played one of the PS2 games and it was okay, and I played one of the Game Boy games and it was okay. It wasn't great. I don't even remember anything about the PS2 version except crashing into some kind of house to talk to a doctor. That's really about it. But I recently started playing the third one again. That's Year of the Dragon, and that's when you can play as Sheila, the kangaroo, and Sergeant Bird. I think that's his name. But Spyro is really good. It's a great game. If you ever come across it, I would recommend the first one. I would just play the whole trilogy. It's really good. Kind of made me angry. I was trying to beat the first game 100% through because I saw some guy on YouTube doing it and brought back some memories of Spyro, and I remember I still had the first game. So I got me a PS1 memory card. I played the game almost non-stop all weekend, and then throughout the weeks I played it some more. I got around to 70% completion. Every time I go into a level, I would complete it 100% before I left the level. And let me tell you, I forget what one it was, but there's a level where it's just in a magical forest, and it takes forever to beat that 100%. You have to leave the level like 3 times in order to even beat it. And then someone stole the memory card, and it sucked. But that's Spyro. If you ever get a chance, watch some Let's Plays of it, or get it yourself. If I would say I would send it to somebody, but I really love my Spyro games. If I ever get any extras, I might put it on eBay or something. Anyway, number 2. Number 2, this is going to be a little quick. Grand Theft Auto. Pretty simple. When I was younger, for the PS1, me and my cousin used to play the first one all the time, you know, the overhead view, and, you know, no one ever did the story and that. You just went around killing people. That's what we did. And then Grand Theft Auto 2 came out, and that was the only teen-rated one, which was really odd now that I think about it. But, that was okay. It was another overhead view. I never got around to playing Grand Theft Auto 3 until like a few years back, and it wasn't very good, in my opinion. It was really clunky, and it was weird to move around. You couldn't swim. I played San Andreas. Man, I loved San Andreas. There's so much you can do in that game. I'm not even going to get into it right now because it takes that much time to explain. I think it was Liberty City Stories, and I thought that was okay. It was one of the ones for the PS2 with the stories in the title. And then I played Vice City. That was okay. It was I thought it was a little clunky again, and but it was better than 3. And then Grand Theft Auto 4. I got that game. I didn't even have to pay for it. My friend just gave it to me. And if you play any free-roaming shooters anymore, you know that how good Grand Theft Auto 4 is. It's a little monotonous. I wish they would have had more of a San Andreas feel to it, but I think they were trying to go for a more realistic approach, which, yeah, I can see why. Because they have Saints Row to compete against, and they're going all crazy. They're going back to San Andreas-like area for Grand Theft Auto 5. Actually, I think it is San Andreas again, and I hope they make it a little crazier again. You know, the tanks and everything. I know you can fly again, which is really cool. But anyway, that's all I got to say about Grand Theft Auto. All right, last one. This is, like I said, this was in no particular order, but my last gaming franchise that I want to talk about is Castlevania. I love Castlevania. I recently got into it, too. About last year or the year before, when the angry video game nerd James Rolfe did his Castlevania-thon. And when he did that, It was pretty awesome. And I do recall I had a Castlevania game for the Super Nintendo, it was Super Castlevania 4, and I played that quite a bit. I sucked at it really bad. And I think I played this one when I had my NES. I didn't have my NES for very long. But like I said, I got into this again when he did his Castlevania-thon. I forget what year it was. But the game I'm working on right now, I'm working on it again, is Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles. This is my cousin's who let me borrow it. And I've beaten this once before. Just talking about this game alone, Richter sucks. Richter's the main character. He really sucks. He's okay for the first couple of levels, but you want to unlock Maria. Maria is the best thing that will ever happen to you in this game, because she has a double jump, she runs, and she has projectile weapons. It's got about as much range as Richter's whip, but you can throw out 2 at a time, and it'll go through them and come back, so you basically get 4 hits just from hitting the button twice. And I think her sub-weapons are a bit more powerful. Yeah, Richter sucks in that game. He's really slow, he only walks, he can only whip in a straight line, so it's not like Super Castlevania 4 where you can whip in all 8 directions. I don't know, this isn't a direction in a Super Nintendo game. It's got 2 other games on there as well. Castlevania Rondo of Blood. And that is the game that this is based off. This is just a reboot of that game. And its original Japanese title, I think, was called Devil's Castle Dracula X Rondo of Blood. And that's an awesome name. But the Rondo of Blood wasn't released here. Instead, it was called something different, and I think it was for the Genesis. I think. Don't quote me on that. And the other game they have on there is Symphony of the Night, and my God, I love Symphony of the Night. It's a great game. It was originally for the PS1, and if you get this game, it's an unlockable. If you like 2D side scrollers, and RPG-ish type games, if you don't like if you're not a fan of 2D side scrollers, but you really like role-playing games, play Castlevania Symphony of the Night. That's all. That's it. That's what I'm going to end this top 5 with, because that game is freaking amazing. I'm doing it again, and the game takes forever to play, unless if you do the glitch, which I did. If you want to learn more about that, just look it up. Just look up Castlevania Symphony of the Night, keep your weapons at the beginning of the game, because I'm not going to spoil much for you. Anyway, that's my favorite 5 series. I probably could have thrown in some more in there, like The Darkness, The Godfather, and a couple others. But that's what I decided to throw in there for now. And anything else before I go? Halloween, I'm doing a 2-hour heavy metal show. I have anything from old school classic metal, like Ozzy Osbourne and Metallica and all that. I know they're thrash, not really classic, or like Black Sabbath or something. But I have any from that all the way to grindcore, which is like the other end of the spectrum. I have black metal, deathcore, metalcore, new metal. I have a little bit of everything on the show, and it's going to be cool. If you want to listen in, if you don't live in Indiana, you can listen online at our website, 917weem.org. I would love for everybody to give a listen to it, and it lasts from 11 p.m. my time to 1 a.m. So, give it a listen. I'm Anakin2, and I'm out.